What's happening, guys? Welcome back. Get a few topics to discuss and talk about. We're going to go over Dana White making a proposition to Tyson Fury to fight in the octagon against Jon Jones. I would like to touch on Nate Diaz wanting to move the Jake Paul fight, the boxing match, out of Texas to another state because Texas doesn't allow marijuana usage. As soon as I heard that Nate Diaz couldn't smoke, I knew that was going to be a freaking problem. Not a shocker. And the third topic, I would like to give props to Jim Miller. I think the guy's a legend. He's made a mark in the sport, certainly the UFC. Talk about a super crafty veteran that is up there in age for mixed martial arts, still making waves, still winning fights, still knocking people out, finishing people. Incredible. But first, let's start with Dana White making that offer to Tyson Fury. All right, yeah, so recently in a press conference, a mini conference, Dana White laid it out there. He made an offer to Tyson Fury. Dana stated, hey, if you really want to see who the baddest man on the planet is, Tyson, we could find out. You versus Jon Jones in the cage. Dana touched on how they got Floyd paid and how they can give Tyson Fury what he's looking for money-wise. I don't know about that one. Tyson Fury is used to some pretty big paydays. I mean, we all know that the top of the food chain in boxing gets paid far more than the top of the chain in mixed martial arts. We're talking like 3, 4 times, 5 times as much. To my understanding, though, from what I see and what I gather. So is Dana and company going to be able to give Tyson Fury 40 mil, 50 mil, 70 mil, 100 million a fight? I don't know about that. Tyson Fury has a lot of bravado. The guy's been talking a lot of smack. Of course, he said, just recently, and I'm going to do my Tyson Fury impression. Let it be known, any man born from a mother's womb. Tyson Fury was pissed off at Joe Rogan because Joe basically stated that if Jon Jones and Tyson Fury were locked in a room, Jon Jones is coming out that room after 10 minutes. He's not lying. He's not lying. Struck a nerve with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury responded with a video and he said, any man born from a mother's womb, locked in a room with him, best believe he's coming out that room. Sorry, Tyson, you're not coming out that room. But he made the statement, and mixed martial arts is the closest thing to an actual free fight, like where you use all your tools. So if he believes he'll come out of a locked room with Jon Jones, he could step in the octagon. Dana made the offer, but even though Tyson's talking a big game, what would it benefit him besides his ego answering a question to himself, which I think he knows the answer already? What would it benefit him to step in the octagon and get demolished by Jon Jones? It's going to be embarrassing, one. It's going to hurt his stock. Not necessarily hurt his boxing legacy, but in some ways, yes. Because some people do believe that the best boxer on the planet, the greatest heavyweight boxer, is the baddest man on the planet. And that's just not correct. But there are a lot of hardcore boxing fans that believe that. So that bubble is going to be clearly popped. Might hurt your fan base a little bit. And as far as like big paydays, Tyson could get a big payday, doing what he does best, boxing. He doesn't have to step in the cage and fight Jon Jones. I don't think Dana and company could get him that type of money anyway. And unless it comes out of him where he has something to prove to himself, I just don't see that fight happening. It's more likely Jon Jones goes to boxing to do a one-fight deal against Tyson Fury, but that's extremely unlikely. I just find it more likely than Fury stepping into the UFC octagon. So a nice attempt by Dana White, but yeah, it's not going to happen. Anyway, moving on. So let's talk about Nate Diaz wanting to move his boxing match with Jake Paul from Texas to another state that's marijuana friendly. I read that headline and I found it funny. I saw this coming because when they had that like stipulation, that rule that Nate Diaz couldn't smoke, couldn't use marijuana, I'm like, man, the likelihood of this fight going down is even less now. And it's comical, it's funny. I just don't see Nate Diaz not smoking, regardless of the payday. The guy's a diehard smoker. That's just like commonly widely known. And Nate's a character. Nate stands by his principles. He's very stubborn. I don't really see him bending and caving. He will throw this fight away to spark up. And I think Jake Paul and his team know that. So it wouldn't shock me if they try to accommodate Nate Diaz and somehow move the fight to another state. This boxing match is supposed to go down sometime in August. I think August 5th. Don't quote me on that. But there's some time to, get this fight facilitated in another state. There's time. Will it be moved to another state? Who knows? I think this fight's already kind of like in jeopardy. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm not going to hold my breath for this boxing match. I'm not going to lie. I'll tune in. But again, I'll believe it when I see it. I just see so many reasons why this one could just fall through. All right, let's talk about Jim Miller, guys. Jim Miller's 39 years old right now. Fights in the UFC lightweight division. He has a mixed martial arts record, 36 wins, 17 losses, 1 no contest, 7 wins via KO TKO, 19 wins via submission. Super impressive. He's only been stopped twice via strikes in his entire career. He's been subbed 3 times. So Jim Miller's first professional mixed martial arts fight was back in 2005. Jim Miller made his UFC debut way back in 2008. That was at UFC 89, guys. Think about that. Wrap your head around that. 2008, back in UFC 89. So right now, Jim Miller holds the record for the most bouts in UFC history. And the most wins in UFC history. And the most wins in UFC lightweight history. Okay, if that man is not a shoo-in for the UFC Hall of Fame, I don't know who is. I gotta tip my hat to Jim Miller. Round of applause. Last few years, Jim Miller's record has been a little bit spotty, but he just won his last fight in 23 seconds via knockout. That was against Jesse Butler. Before that, he lost to Alexander Hernandez via decision, unanimous decision. He was on a 3-fight win streak before that. And before those 3 wins, that 3-fight streak, very spotty, very spotty. Wins, losses, wins, losses. At one point, Jim Miller was like racking up consecutive losses. 2 in a row, 4 in a row, and so forth. Didn't look good for him. But he kept trucking along. I mean, the guy is the definition of perseverance, longevity, just like Andrei Arlovski. Yes, Jim Miller didn't reach the very top, the pinnacle of the sport, never became champion, but he has some impressive wins. He's fought a who's who. On any given night, could pretty much beat any fighter out there. Super solid fighter. I mean, well-rounded, just a crafty, super experienced, tough, hard-nosed vet. How could you not respect that? And again, I think he's a shoo-in for the Hall of Fame just based off of the records he's breaking. You don't have to be a world champion to be in the Hall of Fame. You just have to make a notable contribution to the sport. Make your mark in some capacity. And not every fighter breaks records. He's breaking multiple records. He's certainly going to be in the UFC Hall of Fame. But guys, those are my thoughts on these 3 topics. Feel free to drop your thoughts. I would love to read what you guys think about these happenings in mixed martial arts, these current events. Thanks for watching the video, guys. If you enjoyed this podcast segment, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing if you enjoy the content. Sharing always helps the channel grow. Thanks, guys, so much. I'll catch you all on the next one. In the meantime, please take care of yourselves. Later.